All right. So peace, everybody. It's King Brujo, Bendiciones. So today, I know y'all used to me coming on here, playing games, laughing, joking, but today is more of a serious matter. So I got the sister Madeline Dwell on to help
You
me.
could call me Lady Galactic. I don't go by that no more.
Oh, okay, my bad. So Lady Galactic. I actually like that. That's a dope ass name. Cause
Thank
like
you.
if you think of like a logo, like there's so much shit that you can do with Lady Galactic logo wise, or
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Like it's just a dope ass name.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
so we're here with the Queen Lady Galactic, and she's gonna help me talk about this very sensitive topic because we're gonna be talking about mental health. And of course, those who have been following everything that's been going on online, a lot of you have been watching, kind of going through meltdowns on social media. And so we're going to really touch on these things so that we can bring understanding so that, you guys that are in the spiritual community can have a compass on how you're going about the people that you're putting your faith into or you're, entrusting with your life, as well as what to look for in your own daily affairs with people that you love, with people that you care about. Because me and the Queen Lady Galactic, we're coming from two different sides of the ball here. Where Mira was my friend, you know what I'm saying? And her and him had a very different situation. So can you kind of explain like, your relationship to our brother?
So honestly, okay, I'm gonna kind of talk about some things just so we can get to why this is the root cause.
Right.
Okay. So let's just start off by this. I was in New Jersey living with my father at the time, and I was soul searching, okay, because that's what I was doing. I was always curious about shit. So long story short, I was on YouTube looking up voodoo,
Mm.
and that's when I came across his video, the Haitian video he did for Haiti or whatever. So long story short, I was like, wow, this guy knows a lot of information. Let me call him. And I first I thought he was in Florida and shit, and he told me he was in New Jersey, and I was like, oh shit. But I just wanted to have a conversation. He took it to a whole like, oh, let me take you out. Da, da, da. I want to see how you look. Da, 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 da. And then I was like, okay. And then when I met him, he was super loud. Mind you, we're in a kid park. We're in a child's park. And he's talking super fucking loud. And I could remember, I didn't remember what he was saying, but long story short, I kept saying, oh, he's so fucking loud. So long story short, we had our dates, we had our fights, whatever. Then we ended up being together. Then we lived together. And that's when, I met his family, etc. Like, it was just the whole everything. Went to brother's wedding. Yeah, whatever. So, which led me here, right? Um, the behavior he has now, it's nothing new. All right. There were times where we were going through certain situations in our relationship, which I know other women can attest to this. He would shame me. Okay. He would shame me on the media. Not like he could just text me or call me and be like, hey, babe, you know what you're doing? I don't like it. Don't do that no more. Instead, you want to shame me and just bully the fuck out of me. Okay. He doesn't know how to talk to women. He made me always fearful of him, like the way he would speak. All right, very narcissistic, and this happens a lot in the Haitian community with our tradition, like how men are with the woman, and this is why a lot of Haitian women left the Haitian men. Okay, because we are not tolerating the bullshit anymore. Like I know a lot of Haitian women are not with their husbands anymore. Okay, he's definitely one of. Not only that too, he was raised in a church. He was a pastor's son. Let me talk about that. Do you guys ever went to a private school before and a public school? Do you ever see the difference?
Yeah, yeah.
The private school kids, they are fucking wild, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like the girl moving a little too fast,
Right,
like
right,
they extra over there. And when it comes to public school, everyone's chill.
right.
That's how it was with the pastor's kids. They were the rebel kids. They were the ones that did whatever the fuck they want because their parents were rich or their parents they were fortunate enough to do what they wanted to do, right? They had resources. Their fathers always on a stand. So I feel like kids look at stuff like that, the pastor's kids, right? Where they want all the attention on them.
Right.
But sadly, he didn't follow that route because of a traumatic experience he had, okay, not like it was physical or anything, but he heard over the news, and that's what, transitioned his religion to
Mm.
voodoo. All right. Basically, with all of us, we see the popes, we see the pastors out here getting exposed, right? All right. So I kind of feel like on a subconscious level, because he didn't heal that part of him, he took that part of him with his adult life.
Mm.
And that is why he is the exact representation of these very pastors that are manipulating the people, all right, with these false narratives or whatnot, just so they can have a little piggy bank in their pockets,
Right.
right? Look at Joel Osteen. Look at TD Jakes.
Mm.
I've heard a story about his daughter, how she kidnapped her friend's baby.
Mm.
All right. That's a story on Tasha K if y'all want to check it out. All right. So yeah, this is not something we're battling that's personal. This is happening worldwide.
Right.
Okay, on a collective level. This is why Saturn is in Aquarius, which is the age that we're in. This is why a lot of hard lessons are happening worldwide because Aquarius represents the collective humanity, right? Like it's almost like the conversations I'm having with my clients is I'm hearing a similar story.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Because this battle is bigger than us.
Yeah.
This isn't something that's 3D. It's really in the upper ethers out there.
Right.
And they're using these very opponents that are easy targets, aka those that don't believe in astrology or the higher spirits that they don't connect to on a genuine level
Right.
because they're so conditioned by the system.
Mm.
This is why they did the things they did. And let me say another thing too. I'm not gonna shame the scam readers out there that not that I'm vouching for them, but I understand why they did the things they did because some people don't believe the shit you tell them.
Mhm.
I've had that experience, but I don't care. I'm a real person. I'm gonna keep telling you what the fuck it is, whether you don't believe me or not. But some people, they had to add a little twist because people weren't believing what they were saying.
Right.
Let's say, for example, I tell you, hey, the reason why you and your girl's not working out is because you gotta heal something within. You're like, no, fuck that. It's because she's not listening. And you're like, all right, you know what? Yeah, it's because she's not listening. So you gotta do this. You gotta do this work so this can work for you guys. Now, what you guys are doing is putting a band-aid on a traumatic situation.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because no one's going for the root cause. No one's going for the root problem because we are all conditioned in a systematic, culture.
Right.
Where it's like you gotta get that money fast. You gotta get this. You gotta get married. You gotta get family. This is
Right.
all systematic. No one said that everyone's meant to be married. No one said that everyone's meant to live the same path everyone walks. But unfortunately, because we live in a systematic world, we will always have these competitive opponents because this is how they set it up in the first place.
Right. And so in many ways there's people that can be victims of that. And as we talk about like how
Yeah.
basically I wanted to link with him just out of a genuineness of, knowing that we were both influential in the spiritual community.
Right.
And, Lady Galactic and just her looking out because she knows the person. I don't know him like that at that time. She's
Mhm.
like,
Mhm.
I don't know, just be careful because he can be very competitive and you're another male, so that might not work, you know.
Mhm.
And of course in the end she was right because that is really how everything played out.
Right.
Next thing you know, my name started to get bigger within the spiritual community and
Mhm.
he found things to try to attack my foundation, which is similar to what she said about how he could be shaming her even when they were in a relationship. So, like, for me to be a friend, that's like nothing then. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
to shame a friend is nothing compared to shaming a girlfriend. So,
Mhm.
there would be like things like that in our conversation, but I'm not really like a sensitive guy like that. So, a lot of this stuff I just blow off and just go about my business. You know what I'm
I
saying?
mean, I understand. Niggas talk shit to each other all the time. Like, yo,
Right.
bro, get the fuck out of here. You think you all that? Like, niggas talk shit and they
Right.
laugh about it. But you got
But
some niggas that really mean the shit they say.
yeah, and then it was just strange because like what set it off to become an issue was, he would just continually every time I did an astrology live, he would just go in on astrology negatively, like the day after. And I'm like, yo, bro, like You know what I'm saying? Like, are you fucking with?
Yeah.
And so what I did, I never said his name. I just did a video that kind of discounted the myths of astrology.
Yeah.
And that set him off to make a video where now he's like, oh, King Brujo is butthurt. Within that video, he had brought your name up and he's like, yeah, I know everything about astrology. I even gave Madeline Etoile her name and I taught her this and taught her that. And to me, it was just strange because I'm like, I didn't even know that she was
First
relevant.
of all, we both were being creative, and I was just coming up with names, and he just so happened to say, "Oh, why don't we do that?" And
Right,
I was like, "Oh, well, I guess because I am about the stars, whatever."
right.
So technically, we both were brainstorming, but go ahead.
Yeah, but to me, the thing that just caught me out of place because this wasn't the first time that I heard him speak your name. So I'm like, but he has a girlfriend that he's happy with her. Like, why is this woman keep coming up? Like, why is he keep saying her name? Is it because he can be that much narcissistic that he just can't let go? Like, I couldn't make sense of it, but I don't know him on the same level as you. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What why that could
So to point that out, honestly, okay, this is why I know I had to do a lot of study when it comes to narcissism because people throw that word out like not really understand the depth of that, right? When it comes to narcissism, it's really a disease. I thought that was like a personality trait
me too.
because everyone has a little bit of narcissism in them.
Right.
You know what I mean? But you have those who kind of like outweigh that, right? Again, and that disease is like a snowball effect. The more you are that way, it's almost like you can't even get out of your own way.
Mm,
So you try to destroy everything that's around you. So since he couldn't find me, he attacked his friends, he
mm,
attacked his enemies, etc. The only people they won't attack is those that are useful to them,
mm,
if you know what I mean.
right.
Now, I don't know the people that he's not shaming. Obviously, he's not shaming because they don't have something that he can waste off, or there's something that they have that he's like, no, let me not say that because
Right.
I need that.
Uh,
You know what I mean?
okay, that makes sense because with his current girlfriend, he, like, cause this is something that worried me as well a little bit, like, because I know, like, his switch up came where now he's more portraying like real street stuff. So now he's talking about like GDs and BDs and Midwest gang politics, which I know she is the one who's really actually tied into that. He's not the one tied to that. So I can now kind of see, yeah, okay, she's the one who brings the street cred to kind of shield him in the streets. And that's why he pushes that to the forefront.
Some kind of use.
Right. It
Some
makes
kind of use.
um
But
now
then again, like you mentioned, for me, if I'm happy with someone, like of course I'm gonna show them off and everything. But it's okay, let me say this. So I remember when I first got into a relationship with my ex, right? I remember there was an ex he had. He kept shaming her
mm,
with me. He kept posting pictures like, "Look, I got another Haitian man. She look at good." You know what I mean?
right,
It's the
right,
same old motherfucking bullshit. All right, that's what narcissistic people do. They have a tactic, they have a strategy, they have a pattern. And
right.
that's when I had realized 3 months later he was going to Brooklyn. That's where his ex was from at the time.
Mm,
So in my head, I'm like, oh, so were you really in love with her? Or were you just like using me to shame her?
right.
Then that's when the same old shit is happening.
Mm,
That's when I'm like, aha, now I know what this is all about. You know
right.
what I mean? So I don't know. I'm not saying he probably don't love the woman he's currently with. I don't know. I don't know. But it's kind of giving that you're using a tactic to get at someone else, if you know what I mean.
Right. Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense though. And that also makes sense for why, he could kind of be lashing out in different ways because maybe he can't cope effectively with trauma or pain or
Yeah, this is someone that's not continuously healing.
ego, yeah, or even just the ego being bruised, where now his
Yes.
ego is bruised, he can't let it go. like now he's just going on rants on Facebook where it's like he's almost talking to himself because nobody's really interacting with the post, but he's continuing to post and express himself in that way because maybe he doesn't have another way to do it, you know?
He doesn't have a friend, so his Facebook is like his diary outlet.
Okay.
Well, public diary. That's why I call it.
Right.
Because it's coming from a subconscious, traumatic way of thinking.
Right.
Okay. And the energy is so intense. Like to have that, all that, the fuel to do that, he gets a kick out of these things.
Right.
Okay. Why do you think the previous people he would beef with, like they kind of, you know what I mean? They didn't continuously because they know how that would go. It's like it goes round and round, round and round. That's what crazy people do. It goes round and round, round and round.
Right.
And then now you end up going, it's kind of like a tornado, right? Once you're in that tornado, you're caught up in that tornado too. So now they're caught up in that tornado too. It's like a tornado effect, aka Saturn Aquarius.
Right.
All right. So this is Saturn Aquarius, like really rallying all these wicked people that are like, you know, I guess, triggering the chosen or those that are meant to heal and whatever, light workers, whatever the fuck you want to call it. That's just the battle that's going on. It's bigger than us.
Right.
The dark forces, whatever you guys want to call it. But that's what this is what the fuck it is. You know, we see it with our friends, we see it with our families. Like, listen, this is somebody's uncle, this is somebody's brother out here.
Right.
And it's sad that no one's really reaching out to really have a sit down. And because I felt like I was the only one doing that for him. But I feel like I destroyed myself in the midst of doing that.
Okay. So you tried to kind of heal him together.
But like I said, and I remember before I said I tried so much. It's almost like you're trying to, you know, bring someone to the water, but they don't want to drink it.
Right.
Because they choose to stay that way.
Right.
So what do? Fucking walk away.
Right. And you know, with me, because this is something that people have brought up, and I kind of observed myself as things went on, is that maybe as a child as well, he may have gone through bullying or low self-worth, you know, because of whatever was taking place in school. So that's something that I noticed as well, you know, about maybe something like that was happening as well in school. That
I
now,
mean, of course. Of course. All right. And he was also a boxer at one point.
mm,
You always hear a lot of boxers have a mental disorder.
right.
Okay. Even what's his name? The famous boxer. What's his name? He was in that Hangover movie.
Oh, Mike Tyson.
There we go. Mike Tyson. You hear how he talks?
Right.
That's from him boxing.
Right. A
These
lot
things
of
can debilitate.
yeah, it's called punch drunk. They be
Okay.
drunk. Yeah.
Okay.
Um
Yeah, that's the effect I feel like he has. And but not with his speaking, more with his like mental.
okay. Well, yeah, cuz like, you know, even like with his speaking, that's why I wonder like even like when he was in school if he went through like certain classes or things like that because like even like speech he still has like certain speech impediments like lisp or when he types, sometimes he can type almost like maybe he had like learning things that he was going through in school, you know, where it caused him to be in like different type of classes and maybe people made fun of him, you know. These are things like kind of like I even people would say or people around me would notice, but I didn't go to school with him or be that intimate conversation wise to know those things about him. These are just things that people, you know.
I mean, listen, we all went through some kind of shit. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I'm tired of us making excuses for those that refuse to heal. It's not they don't want to. It's not
True.
that they don't want to. They refuse. They refuse it.
True.
Okay, it's almost like look, I'm comfortable in my pain. I'm
Right.
comfortable in my traumatic life. Let me be.
Right.
So I let them be. This is what I had to learn with my practice too. I can't heal anybody.
Right.
Like you gotta wanna heal.
Right.
You know what I mean? It all starts with you. So in that sense, I felt like I was doing myself a disjustice because it was almost like I needed the healing now because I was so like caught up in that, and his behavior was so ingrained. You know what I mean? Now it's like I had to release all of that and really nurture and get back to my own self. All
And
right. And it wasn't fucking easy.
right,
In the midst of him doing all of that shit, like, yo, and on top of that, I'm a young fucking female.
right,
Him, he made me realize, like, if I don't feel safe with a man, you're not meant to be my man.
right.
And he did not make me feel safe at all.
And this is and this leads to a greater conversation. Women, there's different types of abuse. There's
Exactly.
emotional
There's
abuse, there's
verbal abuse.
physical abuse, verbal abuse.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so this is like we're looking at the aftermath of verbal emotional abuse where it's manipulation, and now this is a woman that's healing. A lot of y'all are going through this right now, but you
Mm-hmm.
don't know how to break it or how to get away from it. So like what were things that you were able to do to kind of get away from that cycle with him so that you can get on with your life again?
So let's say this. I'm not gonna lie. I felt like me being a reader saved my life because I've realized that I wasn't the only woman going through this.
Mm,
That's the thing. We women tend to be so stuck in our own worlds that that's our only world. You know what I mean? And then it's kind of like on a psychological level, we feel like there's no woman out here that's really doing it and helping women like us to get out of that. So
mm,
we stay stuck in our own prison. Like the mind is a very powerful, powerful tool.
right.
And this is why when a man conditions a woman that way, she really gets stuck. I even met a woman that she was married to a man for 17 years.
Mm,
Okay, a narcissistic man, very abusive. Okay, she didn't go to school. She didn't graduate from high school. So he was sitting there taking care of her and everything. And it took her so much, so many years to get out of that.
right.
Like, can you imagine? Like, I'm okay. So what honestly took me out, I would say my ancestors.
Mm,
Okay, because when I was a spiritual at the time, he would tell me shit like he had a dream that my mom told him, "Oh, what you doing with my daughter?"
uh,
That was my key sign. So on a spiritual and physical level. And secondly, he made me feel like I was incapable of, like taking care of myself. On a subconscious level, he brainwashed me to feel as if like, oh well, look at me, I have all this money. What can you do for yourself?
mm,
That fucked with not only my ego but my womanhood because I didn't have other women that was bringing me up. So if anything, I felt like my mom on the other side was just the one like really fighting for me to get out because there were some things out. That's why I say your ancestors are really your eyes and your ears because there's some things you don't really know. You don't really know, and then they bring other people to you, and that's when you start to realize. Like I remember I used to get my lashes done at this girl lash salon, and she was the one that taught me about narcissism.
right.
That's what kind of brought me out of that because my mom was bringing me to different people to show me things that I wasn't even looking at. You know what I mean? Just because I was so conditioned and I'm thinking it's normal, like, oh, when I saw Haitian and whatever, like
Mm,
being so biased. And I wasn't spiritual at the time. So you already know what people that are spiritual themselves.
right.
Well, that's like a token right there, right?
Wow. It
So yeah, if it wasn't for the spirit of my mom and me really like meeting with other women outside of the places that I was in to really see that I wasn't the only one. And me doing my lives, that's what it was. Me joining other women and talking about it, okay, and learning new things. I didn't know what narcissism was. No one talked about it.
sisterhood, y'all. Sisterhood.
Knowledge is
Sisterhood.
that's the thing. Knowledge and spirituality is your superpower.
Mhm,
Because what you don't know, what they say will kill you.
mm,
I didn't know what narcissistic was. I didn't know that was a disease. I didn't even know that was a thing.
right.
You know what I mean? As crazy as that sounds, I didn't know what the fuck that was.
And this is sisterhood coming in once again to save the day. Is dealing
Yes.
with sisterhood. And I don't really I hate to hear these type of situations because of the fact that I preach so much about men doing a certain thing and playing a certain roles. But it can be very hard for women to trust men when you hear stories like this because
Mhm.
and that's why I have to put discernment where like ladies be very discerning when you're picking these men. Don't be wanting to be Mr. Fixer Upper or Mrs. Fixer Upper all
Right.
the time because then this is when you get into these situations and you get
Yes.
vampired. And and it's like they will utilize see good men are not going to push their weight on you even if they take care of
Mm-mm.
all the bills and do this. you're gonna still have a freedom. You're gonna even be able to accumulate your own money. They're not gonna be on top of you to control it. And so, but it's so harder to find today that you have to arm women with the knowledge so that they can just avoid the nonsense before it even starts, you know?
Exactly.
And
No, and there's one thing you said to the fixer upper. I feel like we women, we become so obsessed with fixing our man. Like, we need to get that condition out of our heads. Because
mm,
I feel like we got that from that old generation. You're not supposed to be fixing him. You're supposed to be fixing yourself, okay?
yeah,
Like, you guys are supposed to be complete. And
mhm,
then that's what makes the relationship so fulfilling.
mm,
Because if you're relying on the other to really fix you and the other person to fix you, y'all gonna keep doing that. And it's kind of like a half-ass relationship. You know what I mean? You need the full package. You need the full thing. All
yeah,
right. Internally, physically, spiritually, everything has to match. Because
right,
if it does, it's almost like it's a half-ass relationship. You know what I mean?
right.
Like,
One of my clients, she said, I'm not dealing with no more builder bobs. Like literally, that's what she she like. I'm not dealing with no more builder bobs because it's true. And then the thing that often happens with these men that you build up, you will build them up in that way. They'll leave your ass and they'll go to
right?
somebody
Look at
else.
Kevin Hart.
Right,
Look at Kevin Hart. He had his woman, you know, he went through it all. Now he out there, he had a whole new woman. I see that a lot with the especially with the black culture. You
right,
see that a lot.
right.
The woman holding you down, and she there, you know, when you low. And I mean, I wasn't when I was a little boy, I wasn't really at his lowest. I was at the beginning of his come up.
Mm,
And I feel like it got to the point where like things start to simmer down or fall down. Now I feel like his empire is like
yeah.
slowly. I'm not gonna say it's like falling down, but it's it's giving tower moment. That's what keep seeing in my head. Sorry. Yeah, it's giving tower moment, like your own. How do they call it? King Midas.
Okay, yeah.
Have you ever heard the story?
Yeah.
Everything he touched turned gold. I feel like I met him around that time, and now it's getting to that point where he's like, he might end up turning himself into gold.
Right. And being frozen in time. King's disease.
Yeah, yeah,
A lot of men get King's disease where they get
yes,
to
that
the
and that's
point
what it
they
is
can't-
too.
yeah.
Listen, King Brujo, I feel like this all started too with the church community
Mm,
because again, his father is a pastor. So it's like when you have that kind of father that's like a role model in a sense, you want to be like your dad,
mm,
especially as a man. I get it. You know,
right,
you want to be like your father. So you want people to look up to you like people look up to your father. Okay. But
right,
then again, it's like there's healthy ways to go about it. You
right,
know, there's healthy ways to go by breaking generational curses, generational traumas. That should have been a start right there before you built your foundation. You can't build it on a bad foundation.
right.
You
Especially
know
with
what I mean?
spirits that he works with, because you know those are very vampiric spirits. So
Yes.
sometimes this is the thing with mental health, especially in the spiritual community.
Yeah.
Some of it can be spiritual, and the other part can be clinical, and they'll go back and forth like this. You won't even know the line anymore. So
Mhm.
one can trigger the other. So okay, you're dealing with intranquils and Marinepiachesh, but you're also clinically having things going on. That that's a
Yes.
recipe for destruction now. And I tell
Yes.
people, yeah,
Because
you
these
have
spirits
to check.
already come with this like malfunction ways of living. You know what
Mm,
I mean? So the fact that this is why I said a lot of clients that he would have that would come to me and they'll be like, "Oh, I want to do work." I'm like, "No, honey, you need to work on yourself
right.
because you doing work. This is why you still here calling me about the same guy,
You're right.
okay? Because clearly the root problem isn't being solved, which
Mm,
is him healing the very part that he keeps dragging along with himself.
right.
And that again, this is not to bash old boy. I get why he did the way he did things because people back in the day didn't believe in the awakening and healing and chakras. We're just now getting to it. We're just now publicly talking about therapy. You know what I
Therapy.
mean? So
Yeah.
I feel like we're just slowly coming out of that systematic way of it's deeper than us.
Right. And that's
This is why, like, I don't want to say I don't believe in religion, but I don't let that identify who I really am because I know I come from a galaxy. I come from the source
right.
who created this motherfucking earth. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like that's what I connect with because that's the very essence that we have within us.
Ashe.
And the Bible says we were created in the image of God. The way I look at it as we are all fucking God.
Ashe.
Okay, it's just the fact that the system conditioned us to feel like we're slaves to one owner. I don't believe in leaders, yo.
Mhm.
I believe we're all fucking leaders.
Right.
But they want us to be like, oh no, it's only one leader, so you all could stay quiet. And again, we're here to help those to become their God self.
Right. Right. And when you see a situation like this, it's like a person that's trapped. Um,
Yeah,
where
literally trapped.
he's trapped in his
Literally
own
trapped.
yeah, he's trapped in his own like his own reality
Own
that
way
he
of living in
created.
reality, yes.
Yeah, it's
That's
like,
because he has Uranus on his moon. You know
oh,
Uranus is ruled by the world.
okay,
So I feel like the bad side is you're gonna be stuck in your own world
right.
and be ignorant to the other facets that are trying to help you get out of your own prison. And
And
then Neptune on his moon, which is like the delusional ways of emotionally feeling. Like I can
right.
go deep with this shit.
And that's too, y'all women, y'all need to be reading these men's charts, okay?
Yes.
Come to
Yes.
somebody that knows, like when you're gonna date, like look into their chart first, please do.
Look at his A house, what he see, what he hiding.
Right. Look at his Lilith.
Look at
Um,
his Lilith.
because
Yeah.
what's Lenny's his Lilith is
His Lilith is in Capricorn.
which is a power thirsty placement. Like Lilith and
Yes.
Capricorn is bloody for power, for success, for coming up.
Mm-hmm.
That can be very detrimental because they will do it at the expense of people they love. A Lilith
Yes.
and Capricorn will hurt people they love to get to the top. They don't care. They'll step on anybody so they can get there if they're not evolved. Now, if they're able to evolve and utilize nature to transcend their chart, now we're going to get a different version of these placements. It will progress. That's why the elements are here for us. Because, yeah, we're born with certain fates or certain traits about us, but through nature and the universe around us, we can grow past them to be better people. They're just
Right.
challenges. I say there's no really a bad placement. There's just challenging placements where
Yeah,
now,
like there's a good side and there's a bad side.
right,
What side are you on?
right,
You know what I mean? Like that's how I can roadmap to see like, okay, what's going on right here? Like, okay, so I know for example, for me, I like to look at people's south nodes because it tells you what are you too comfortable in? What
mm,
are you too stuck in?
mm,
And have you, because people say that when you're in your north node, you will have a lot of haters.
mm,
People are not gonna like you because you're stepping into your destiny, you're stepping into your power. Like me, I have north node in Sag, and my Mars is in the north node. I am meant to take action and talk my shit.
mm,
No, and wildly.
right,
Okay, because Sag is a wild sign. Like, I don't give a fuck. I don't.
mm-hmm,
But then again, I have South Node in Gemini. So there's certain things I can't just distractively say. There's certain things I can't distractively say. You know what I mean? It has to come from a knowledge because Sag is the wise sign.
right,
Gemini is more distractive and gossipy. I don't do that shit no more. I'm more like, look, this is the problem. This is the truth, Sag's truth, and this is the knowledge and wisdom from this coming from the situation.
and that's why we're having this conversation in this way. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly,
It's not to
exactly.
be petty. Like I'm not on here like asking petty shit. I'm trying to get y'all to understand. Like my abuela says, "Tú tienes que coger capacidad." You got to get capacity in your brain to know. Bro. So we're doing this so people can understand what they're looking at, how they're going about life. Because even when the Queen, Lady Galactic, called me, at first I was a little defensive, like, "Whoa," you know what I'm saying? But she's like, "No, listen, there's something going on with him mentally." That's what like started to simmer me down to say, "All right, let me hear what you got to say, Queen."
Yeah, because I already saw where this was going. Like people like that tend to bring people down their rabbit hole
Mm,
because they don't. Because internally, they really don't want to be alone because they don't want to be alone with their own illnesses.
right,
You know what I mean?
right,
They don't want to. They don't want to face the fact that they're a very shitty person.
right,
So to feel better, they rather surround themselves with good people and projecting on those good people.
right,
So they're like, okay, I'm still a good person. I'm still good. I'm
right,
telling you, this shit is a fucking disease.
right. And it's crazy because like when our queen here said that, everything just clicked to me because in my head she's
Mm.
looking normal because we all looking normal, but we don't know who got schizophrenia, who had personality disorders for real. we don't really know.
BPD, yeah, borderline disorder, yeah.
Yeah, so as she's saying this, she's like, "No, no, no, listen, listen. I've been with him. I'm telling you, he has something going on." And I'm like, "All right, that just took all the fire out of me in that moment. Like, wait, you know what I'm saying? Let me listen to the queen talk." And then it started to click. I'm like, "Oh, okay, that's why like the beef with the kid from Montreal, it makes sense because he actually is schizophrenic clinically. He said that.
Yeah, yeah.
But then, Elmira is making fun of him for his schizophrenia, right?
You know what it is too? Let's talk about this. Because I talk to a lot of 40-year-old men that are born in the 1970s and 80s, and
Mm,
I hear a very similar story. Back in their time in high school, it was always fucking war, especially in New Jersey when it came to Haitians.
mm,
Nobody liked Haitians. They looked at us and called us ugly,
mm.
booty scratchers, even the Africans. Now everybody love Haitians, right? Oh, I'm a Zoe. No one
Right,
was
it's
fucking with
popular.
Haitians. I was talking to my family about that. My older cousins and all that. They be telling me, they're like, yo, no one liked us. We had to form our own clique. And if you wasn't part of our clique, you was always getting beat up every day just because you were Haitian.
Right,
So imagine all of that traumatic. They still go through that like subtle condition.
right.
The older generation, you kind of see it.
Mm.
But with him, it's like severe, where it's like it's giving very abnormal.
Well, then yeah, then you have to factor in the other traumas of the
With
church or
church, with
whatever.
this, with like
Right,
this man went through a lot psychologically.
right,
Okay. And they also say men that don't have great relationships with their mother, that's how they treat women.
right.
He always told me that I looked just like his mom.
Mm,
Okay. Which made a lot of fucking sense why he hates my guts.
right,
You know why? Exactly.
right,
The mother relationship isn't there.
right,
And I remind him of his mom, my resemblance.
right.
You know what I mean? So it happens to us all. I mean, he reminds me of my father because my dad was a shitty ass dad. My dad's a Capricorn, and his Capricorn's in the South Node. The only thing I will give him as a Cancer, he is a great nurturer.
Mm,
But all the other aspects were just so bad.
right,
So bad.
right.
Like it wasn't even worth it.
And and if you guys notice, a lot of what we're saying is coming out of places of love. Like
Yes, of course.
as menacing that I can be at times, was my friend. You know what
Of
I'm saying?
course.
So at the end of the day, yeah, we can crack jokes because he can be petty. So sometimes, like my uncle, he works in a crazy house, right? And sometimes
Yeah.
he gotta whoop them crazy people ass because they just be wilding, like, they'll pick shit up, they'll throw shit at people. So like,
Uh-huh.
my uncle, he'll whoop their ass. So
Mhm,
it's like with
mhm.
Lenny, like sometimes you gotta be like that with him because if you don't, he will just try to bully you 100.
Yeah, you gotta learn to stand up for yourself.
Yeah, you can't let him do that to you. But at the
Mhm.
same time, I understand like this is a person that's not right. He needs help
Yeah.
and he really needs to talk to a therapist. He really needs to talk to somebody,
Yeah.
especially clinically, so that he
Yes.
can get diagnosed and that he can get help. Because in the black community as a whole, we just don't do it. We don't take our mental health.
You know what I think we really need in this society? I think we need spiritual therapy.
Yes,
Imagine that.
because they kicked it out of the clinical. Like I don't understand how you can kick the spirituality part out of psychology. That to me, that was
Right.
weird. But they did it, and so now you're having these people that they need the best of both worlds in order to get well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Somebody like him, he's needing the aspect that comes with a fucking medication, damn near. Like that's what I'm saying.
Mm,
Like that's where he's
yeah.
at with it because for you to Facebook is your notebook or your journal because I see it like he'll just go on rants and nobody's really interacting, but he doesn't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's like a person that can get so upset. They're just talking to themselves back and forth now. And
Yeah.
they're, you know what I'm saying? Like, these are
That's
people,
a yeah, yeah.
that's a very sad situation because
It is, yeah.
situation where this is like these movies that you guys can watch where it's all in their head. You know what I'm saying? And they're going
Mhm.
like people are like they're going crazy, but people are treating them this way or that way, and it just makes it
Like it's funny, like, haha, yeah, yeah,
right.
yeah.
So, this is a person that, he needs help. So you guys that watch, yo, don't egg that shit on with him, yo.
Exactly.
Because you're feeding a person's destruction. He's self-destructing before your eyes. And
Yes.
losing control over his life. He's mixing
Mhm.
in with street shit that he never really dealt with, and
Mhm.
he's being led in certain directions, and he's 40, like he can be going through midlife crisis on top of that. He's
Right.
ready to go through another Saturn return around 50, 49, 50,
But
51,
yep. Yep.
and his life is going to keep turning upside down. So y'all
Mhm.
have to realize what's going on and have the mind to say, you know what, that shit ain't funny,
It's
because
not.
he's actually have a problem and he needs
Yes.
help. Because this is the
Exactly.
person that next thing you know, you hear about he jumped off a fucking bridge or something. All of y'all gonna be like, damn, that's sad what happened. But nobody came and said, yo, bro, you need help. You need to go talk to somebody.
I
Nobody
remember he did
came.
something like that. I remember he took a picture. I'm sorry if I cry.
Oh, it's fine, Queen.
I remember he took a picture. He was in a hotel and he was sitting by the window
Mm,
and he said something like he was playing a song in the background because that was a hotel he took me before. And it made me sad, you know what I mean? Because no one wants to see the person they once loved in that predicament. You know what I mean? Like,
right,
I tried to save him.
right. It's
I
and
don't know what to do. You know, I don't know what to do when it comes to him. That's why I'm like, yo, that part of me is dead to me.
right,
That part of me is done because I tried so hard and I realized that this battle is bigger than me and it's something within him, not only spiritually,
mm,
but on a normal level that's not right. And I need to get away as fast as I can because I kind of see myself going down that route.
right,
This is a guy who's mentally depressed every day.
mm,
This guy lives in depression. Like he let me tell you his aesthetics. His curtains are all fucking black. So as soon as you're going in, it's dark as fuck.
mm,
His bedroom is black. Everything is black. Like, I understand that's your favorite color, but on a psychological level, it's giving depression. Okay, like I remember someone told me if you wear the color black all the time, it's giving depression. At first, I didn't believe it, but it's true because I remember when I used to work at TD Bank, I used to wear black all the time, and it was girls in there that would always fight with me every fucking day.
mm,
They made me feel miserable. So it was like almost every day I was always in isolation.
right,
And he's an isolated person. Like I had a family member who told me that being isolated isn't healthy. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like I'm a Scorpio. I like being by myself. Like,
right,
you know what I mean? But he's right. Isolation isn't healthy. Let's not forget the Saturn's in Scorpio. So I'm learning a lot about the deep rooted things, okay, when it comes to that scorpionic energy. Like, yeah, I used to be a very isolated person. This is why I was able to relate to him too.
right,
But it got to the point where like his demons were too stronger than the ones I was releasing myself of. It was just too intense. It was too overbearing. Like every day when I was around him, it got to where like my body would hurt being around him.
right,
Okay, because my anxiety would trigger.
mm,
Like my anxiety got super bad just being with him. Now I'm taking vitamins like skull cap and shit to
mm,
like keep my adrenal levels normal. Like now it's like no, I gotta take care of me because I've been trying to, you know what I mean, heal you, but unfortunately you don't want to heal. You don't want. You just want to keep making me live in fear. I
right,
don't want that. I don't want that for my life. I don't want that for my man. I don't want that for anyone.
right. And I'm happy that
So yeah,
I'm
yeah,
happy
yeah,
that you got to even express and like kind of like release to, people
yeah, yeah, yeah.
going through a similar thing, people that may be seeing this and people they love, and so that they can get insight on how to go about it, and even to realize when somebody is too far gone for you to handle. Because sometimes it happens,
Yes,
people get too
yes,
far gone, and
yes.
it's not going to pan out the way that you would like, but they have their individual journey. They have to walk that. You can't walk it.
Yeah.
They have to walk it. So he has to make all of the beds that he makes for himself, he has to lay in them. That's what he has to do. And it's just sad because of the potential and, the influence that he had over the community, to watch it start to go in this direction, and to watch people that admired him start to turn away now because of his antics. So y'all got to take this mental health shit serious, y'all. Like, I play a lot of games, but this is not a game. I've watched people deteriorate from mental health myself. And that shit is no joke, because
It's not.
it's your brain, and it's
Mhm.
deteriorating. And when that go, every is just done. It's a wrap. When your brain die, everything is it.
Yeah.
It's done.
Yeah.
So y'all gotta understand, this shit is not a game, yo.
Yeah, like, that's
That-
why. Yeah, yeah. And that's why I don't even look at the spiritual aspect anymore. I look at the spiritual and scientifical level, because we have to also understand we are human beings, living a spiritual experience. You know what I mean? So they both go hand in hand. Like, germs are real. You
Right,
gotta cleanse yourself.
right.
Negative energies are real. You gotta spiritually cleanse yourself. So you gotta look at both. This is that Saturn Aquarius speaking.
Mm,
Okay, science and spirituality do go hand in hand, and I feel like this is what we lack in this collective, right? It's like we're being one-sided. Like, oh no, it's just spiritual. Oh no, it's just scientific. No, it really
right.
goes hand in
It
hand.
goes hand in hand. It's true.
You know what I mean? That's called the spiritual evolution of humanity. Okay,
Right,
because we're not just living beings. We have something inside of us.
right.
Okay, and then we have the physical. So our science is like a human religion. This is our human religion, so we can understand the scientific ways of living when it comes to our psychological levels, our physical levels, our health, right? And when it comes to spirituality, we need to stay in tune with the energies, what's going on in the ethers, so
Mm,
we can, you know what I mean, sense
right,
what's going on down here,
right.
as above, so below.
Yeah,
So yeah, I feel like that's key. Like, it shouldn't be only spiritual. You gotta look at the
right,
scientifical ways of living.
right. You got to put it together. And
Yes.
and with that, that's why from this point, family, like, I'm not gonna harp too much more on it, because he's mentally ill, y'all. He needs help. That's crazy. I can't continue just to, like, poke fun at somebody that I know is really needing help. That I know is
Mhm.
really, he fucked up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
because if somebody run into the middle, if a naked person run into the middle of the street and then I run after them, people just gonna say it's two crazy people fighting in the middle of the street.
Yeah,
You know what
that's
I'm
what
saying?
they're literally gonna say.
Yeah, they're not
Yeah.
gonna understand that, no, he actually has a disability and he has an issue. He needs to work that out. So from this
Yeah.
point,
Yeah.
once in a while, if I crack the joke or two, I'm not, like, from that point, I'm not really gonna do nothing past that, because that to me is too much of, now I'm arguing with somebody. I might as well now beef with a damn schizophrenic, a dyslexic, whatever. I
Right.
just go down the line, and now I might as well just beef with somebody in a wheelchair now. So it's
Right.
like, where
Literally.
does it end, right? And ultimately, you gotta know when to have an enlightened view of things, to know
Yeah.
when, all right, that's enough with there over there. He's already on a certain path. Let him go down that road. So from that point, like I said, if y'all see me posted a funny meme from this point, it just stayed there. I'm not caring to go into no more in-depth videos about Lenny. He can do whatever. He could go make a million videos about me, that's what he does, and not mention my name in it. That's fine. But from this point, I just can't, in good faith, you know, continue to poke fun at a mentally ill person. Like, that shit is crazy. I'm not doing that. He got to just get his act
Exactly.
together. He's grown.
Mhm.
You know, that's that. And there's people following that want knowledge, that want information. So I got to give it to him. You know, that's what we
I
here.
mean, again, let's not forget, he's not the only person in power that do these kind of things. We have people like our president, okay, like, barely know what the fuck is going on.
Right.
Just a puppet out here. Literally, just a puppet out here.
He
Like,
don't know
where are our
nothing.
leaders? Where the fuck are our leaders? Even with Haiti, where the fuck is why is there still no president? It's been a year now the president has been assassinated.
It's
There's still no president in Haiti. Worldwide, something's going on, and I feel like whoever is out there shaking everybody the fuck up. Like, look, if you guys seriously don't get it together, this is karma being served right now. So if you guys are seriously not getting it together, you will be part of this judgment,
yeah,
aka Saturn Aquarius. The full moon we had, King Bruno, let me tell you something. The Saturn Aquarius full moon, that shit is equaled up to 10 moons, like full moons. So that was technically a super, super fucking full moon.
right.
All right. That's gonna be lasting for this whole week, which I'm not surprised. Okay, like 2 days ago, I found out this is gonna be personal, but when I was a child, things happened, and I heard the person that did these things to me died last year. Okay, a lot of shit I'm hearing. So this is like, for me, I don't want to call it justice, but it's kind of like I feel liberated now.
Right.
I feel liberated because now I could be free and visit those same people I've seen before because that person's not around.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that's how I want to live. I don't want to live in fear where I'm around the same people that triggered me and made me feel so traumatic. Like, I'm done with that traumatic life. This is why the South Node in Scorpio is like teaching me so much shit with my life. Like, I was living a very chaotic life. Me thinking it was normal. It's fucking not. This North Node in Taurus is teaching me, yo, it's sometimes you just chilling is just the best thing fucking ever.
Right. Right.
Not just going crazy and being chaotic, like, oh shit, I gotta do this. Like, that's me. I drive myself crazy all the time. Like, this North Node in Taurus really teaching me, like, yo, girl, sit the fuck down and just embrace the fucking moment.
And yo, we're gonna have to do a video on like something about astrology or something and have a star talk or something because I think
sure.
like people to hear that perspective, just from that point of view, because you can break down a lot of things in the stars that people I think need to hear. So we'll work on putting that together, family. So Lady Galactic can come on here more, just to speak to you guys about the stars and what's going on. I'm gonna put your Instagram in the description. So her Instagram will be in the description for y'all. So y'all can follow her and things like that. But she's dope, you know. So yeah, Queen. Any last thing that you kind of want to get out to the people?
Listen, at the end of the day, the reason why those being are the people that they are is because they just want to be loved. They just want to be appreciated. Just for being normal, not for what they have. Okay, that's all it is. We all want that, right? We all want someone to love us for who we are, not for what we got, not for this, not for that, not for being the bully or the biggest macho man. You know what I mean? I feel like that's the stigma we women need to get out of, that the old generation, imposed on men.
Right.
Okay, so I feel like, listen, for my girls out there, listen, don't feel scared to speak out. Okay, don't feel scared to speak out. Talk to somebody, reach out to someone. If you could talk to a therapist. Okay, I have a number, a speed dial number, if you want me to share that with you, King Brujo.
Yeah.
That you guys can just pick up and call whenever. Okay, sometimes you just want someone to fucking talk to. Like, I have a client that I do that with her. Sometimes you want someone to talk to. All right, don't feel afraid to speak up and say what's on your mind to just anyone, whether it's private, whether it's publicly. Just make sure you're speaking out.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And let's create that space for everybody, man. It's time.
Yeah, it is, y'all. And from this point, we'll keep elevating, we'll keep growing as a community, and be enlightened. You have a certain capacidad. You got capacity. So you need to utilize that to understand a situation, to analyze a scenario, and know what's really going on. All right. And something is
another thing too, I'm sorry, and do y'all research. We have so many platforms that teach about these things. Even on TikTok, I learned so much shit on there. That's my new Google now. Right. But whatever, don't listen to me. Just do your research, read some books, get your knowledge up.
Right.
Because what you know will save you, will free you.
Yeah. And don't feel like you have to be tied to a person just because they having disability type of issues going on.
Exactly.
Don't enslave yourself to their trauma. Don't do it.
Exactly.
You gotta let them walk through this shit. you know.
Mhm,
Um,
mhm.
and so with that being said, family, we love y'all. Y'all stay growing out there. I
Bye.